Okay, today I'm going to be talking about Poka-Yoke, which is a very important principle in operations management and improvement and things like that. And specifically, I'm going to be talking about the service industry and how it can be applied there. There we go. This is what we're going to be talking about today. First, I'm going to give you some background on Poka-Yoke and where it comes from and basically the main principle of it. Next, we're going to talk about how it can save a company money, then how a company can implement it, and then going back to my original project of how it can be applied to service industries, and then dialing it down even more into marketing, and then final takeaways. So, Poka-Yoke is Japanese for mistake proofing. It was originally part of the Toyota production system after World War II, and the main principle of it is that it's stopping mistakes and errors before they happen. This little figure here on the right is a good example of it. It's simple, but it's good. The on this one down here on the bottom, these two tubes could be connected either this way or flipped upside down. They both work because both um, the parts that are inserted into this part, are interchangeable. But if that only can be a certain way, a certain orientation, that would be bad. So they designed the part so that there's a longer bar and a shorter bar so that it can only go in the one way. So that's mistake proofing. That's Poka-Yoke. Other examples could be, a microwave not starting if the door is open or not being able to put a car into drive if the brake is not applied. So, how exactly can implementing this principle save a company money? Well, the main reason that it can save you money is because errors are expensive. So, one example is a defect in a product is an expensive error. If you if you create a batch of your product and there's a defect in it, there's an error made, then you have to throw that away. That's wasted inventory, that's wasted materials, that's wasted costs. Another reason is that if a mistake happens, you could damage equipment, and equipment in these big manufacturing plants can be really expensive. So it's hard and expensive to replace that equipment. And then another mistake is if the product fails when it gets to the customer and they return it for a warranty or they leave a bad review, that's expensive as well. Replacing that product and the effect of a negative review is it leads to financial consequences for the company. So, what are some easy ways to prevent these mistakes? A very simple one used by surgeons is checklists. So they make sure that they go through the specific steps needed so that they avoid forgetting very important steps when they're, treating somebody. Another one is automation. That can mean very different things, but I was thinking about it in terms of like pre-filled forms. When you're ordering something and uh, a bar in the line or a line entry is empty, like your address, it won't let you submit that form because it needs your address to deliver that product. Other examples in error detection software. My friend Matt works at a machine shop, and he talked about how there's a software that makes you double check that the machine is working correctly. Because if you bypass that and it's not working correctly, you could create a lot of damage and a lot of expensive mistakes. And going back to that first example, right there with the two parts, there's physical design that you can implement um, to make sure that things are done correctly. That's another simple example is that the USB can only be put in one way. It's easy things like that. So I mentioned healthcare before. That's not exactly manufacturing. That's not a factory, but it's still applicable. Other uses in restaurants, there's those QR codes and digital ordering devices that prevent big ordering mistakes. There's nothing worse than ordering your favorite meal at a restaurant and then they bring you something that's still got the pickles on it, even though you asked for them off. Other examples in offices, standardized forms and automated approval systems prevent errors, and in retail, self-checkouts ensure that you're getting the right products and things like that. So, in marketing and consulting, which is what I'm studying, there are several errors that research suggests that marketing firms and businesses doing marketing make. The first one is not following up with leads. So, you find a good customer, potential lead, and then they end up slipping through the cracks and you lose money. So, a way to implement Poka-Yoke is to ensure that that mistake cannot be made. So, there are many tools for that. There are CRM tools that manage leads, outbound emails, and things like that can help you make sure that your leads aren't falling through the cracks. Excuse me. Another one is approval delays. I experience this a lot in my job. I'm an intern, and so I have to approve everything that I post before I post it. And a big error with that is that it takes a long time. And so we're trying to implement automated workflows to mistake proof that process. Another one is analysis paralysis. So it's sometimes a mistake that marketers make where they're trying to make the best decision, and that ends up making no decision. So a way to prevent that error is through A/B testing. So saying like, okay, I'm not going to make a final decision right now. I'm going to test both, and that will kind of push us in the right direction. So this is why Poka-Yoke matters. You prevent mistakes before they happen. And because you're preventing these mistakes, you're not spending as much money, you're not wasting material, you're avoiding costs. And so that saves money and improves efficiency. It also is really important because you can apply it to all industries. It's not just manufacturing, it's not just, you know, big factories. It's even just small offices can implement Poka-Yoke. And then it it comes down to small investments that create big returns. You're putting a little more effort into your product to make sure you can't make mistakes when manufacturing it, and that leads to huge benefits later down the road. So appreciate your time watching this, and I hope you learned something along the way. Thank you.